Come one, come all to the Common Sense Academy. Hello, everyone. How are you today on this wonderful Tuesday evening? No sovereign citizens allowed. Come into the chat room, chat with a lawyer, ask me questions, anything you want to talk about, I'm open to talking about today. Posted a couple of new videos this week. Let's see what I dropped. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, bum. I'm Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer. This is the Common Sense Academy. We're going to go for 1 hour live tonight until 9 p.m. I always say 1 hour, but we usually go a little bit over. Just depends on my mood, the flow of conversation, what we get into, etc., etc. Let's see how it goes. I'd be happy to take any legal questions, talk about sovereign citizens. We can talk about auditors. Whatever it is you want to chat about, I'm open to chatting to. Drop me a super chat and we will talk for much longer about your particular subject. Oh, my favorite video that I dropped was the Kentucky Judge. Who watched the Kentucky Judge? Hey, Barbecue Bob, thanks for coming in. Kay Jackson, thank you. Ayase, hello. Konnichiwa, konbanwa. Adam, what's up, man? Kevin, thank you for joining us. Ashley, thank you for dropping in. I'm happy to have everybody here. We'll do a same time sip about 15 minutes in. If there's any topics or questions that you have, let me know. Also, if anybody wants to call in and discuss something directly, I'm happy to take phone calls. Hey, Warren, how you doing? Adam, you watch the Judge? Yeah, I love that Judge. I mean, I like the judges who keep an even-keeled demeanor, even when they are, laying down the law, and then when they put people in jail, like it's just a matter of business. I kind of get a kick out of that, but I also respect it because that's how I think it should be, and I also believe that the Southern accent adds a little extra something to it. I don't know why. Maybe it's from watching so many Westerns as a kid, but the Southern accent has sort of adds a little force of law and order to whatever the judge says. He also had a great beard. Somebody dropped in the comments, I can't remember who. If you're here, identify yourself. Someone dropped in the comments that he looked like the Colonel, and I concur. He did look like Colonel Sanders, and I think Colonel Sanders would make an excellent judge. Question of law in regards to Mardi Gras. I'd be happy to hear it. Hey, I have guard dogs. What's the best way to put up signs so I don't get sued? Well, okay, that's a good question. I'm really not 100% sure. Number one, here's what you want to do is put up signs, okay, so that if anybody trespasses, okay, you won't be held liable. And I can tell you, if somebody trespasses on your property and your dogs get them, you're probably not going to be held liable. Now, what you would have to worry about is if the dogs get off your property and bite someone, you will be held liable, and no signs are going to save you from that. If you invite people onto your property, friends, family members, business associates, and your dogs bite them, no sign is going to help. I think one area you want to worry about is obviously the mailmen, because they have a right to come and drop your mail off. So make sure your dogs aren't out there. Signs aren't going to help you there. But yeah, put up a sign for trespassers. What I would say, and I don't know the exact law on this, is make sure the sign's clearly posted. So if you have an outside fence, say the end of your front yard, and you have some sort of fencing there, put 1 or 2 signs up there. If you don't have fencing, post signs there regardless. If you have a backyard and a back fence, post signs, Make sure that they're clear, there's nothing covering them, and they're easy to read, and those will help protect you in case somebody trespasses on your property and gets bit. But generally, if someone trespasses, reasonable force can likely be used, and dogs getting after them, I don't know. I mean, it's a little the law. One thing to know about the law in regards to home and trespassing is, inside the home, you're going to have greater protections than outside the home. So just keep that in mind and make sure your signs are conspicuously placed. Yes, adds a touch of Matlock to the whole thing, James. I absolutely agree. I love it. It kind of cracks me up. State or county specific, absolutely, Ashley. States and counties, and even the city, the borough, the township can have ordinances that are very peculiar to animals. So I would look that up. I'm in Florida, don't need no signs. If you have no reason to be in my yard, then you ought not to be there. Hey, Chief, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I haven't watched the new DeWitt video, but I'm going to. Our man, the police impersonator, DeWitt, was apparently arrested again, I believe, after just being recently released from jail. I mean, this guy, listen, when law enforcement's on your ass, go home. Go home. Don't go out there and keep doing the same stupid crap that you're doing over and over again. And this guy's unbelievable. He's going to end up in jail for a really long time. This isn't the same time sip. This is just a Joe is thirsty sip. I would put the signs up. Beware of dog signs leaves you open. The beware of dog sign is only going to help you in case of a trespass. I don't know if it's going to give you absolute protection, but I can promise you it's only going to help you. Absolute idiot. I asked previously about an estranged husband being legally responsible for his estranged wife's kid with a different guy. If the wife had a kid with a different man, a biological child, even if they're married, this is me shooting from the hip, but he would have virtually zero responsibility to that child. It's not responsibility for children arises when they're biological, or if you assume the responsibility. Otherwise, even if that's your wife, you are not going to have any responsibility. I can say that. I don't know that for sure, but that statement comes with a high degree of confidence. DeWitt, the funny thing with DeWitt, Chief, is that some of these other channels, they post and they get like 200,000 hits on him. For whatever reason, when I do posts on him, I don't get the huge views, and that's because the algorithm, I believe, is reading me differently. Like I'm sort of slotted into auditors and sovereign citizens, so that's who YouTube promotes my channel to. But he's absolutely YouTube gold, no doubt. Adam Henderly, we transported a sovereign citizen who was having a stroke a few days ago. Just yesterday, we get an affidavit in our mailbox at our firehouse saying we need to appear in court for theft. Adam, contact the police, man. My next one of my videos, I got a couple videos scheduled, but there was a recent case, and I've covered 2 cases of sovereign citizens going to jail for filing fake liens. And I just found a third one. This video is set to come out in a couple of days on my channel. You'll see it. But a couple of clowns down in Louisiana were doing these, and they're both in jail. They're both facing jail time currently on these fake liens, these fake affidavits. I mean, these people are really getting burned for this. I wonder when. I guess you put enough of them in jail and it calms down. Saul is back. Have you ever been accidentally? You mean Better Call Saul? I know. I've been watching Better Call Saul. I love it. What's that mean when we were outside dealing outside? Not sure. Accidentally trapped with the ADA in the elevator so you can churn out your client's deals. Well, the funny thing about dealing with DAs, evening, Gary, thanks for stopping in. Funny thing about is just getting their time. is just getting their time and sitting down with them and talking about your cases. So whenever you have a chance to talk about them, yeah, you want to talk about them. So yeah, I mean, I've settled cases in the elevators, in the hallways. Sometimes I'll see a DA on another case in another courtroom. We'll talk about that case and work it out over the phone via email. And I don't go out and drink that much, but many are done over beer on a golf course. Everybody hit me with a like. I got 1 like. So if you could drop me some likes on this video, be very much appreciated. Get me up there a little bit, helps the algorithm pick me up, get me a little more exposure. Why would an affidavit say you must do this or that? That's not what an affidavit is. Yeah, you're right, Hog Tie Champ. They don't. These sovereigns don't know what they're doing. A fake subpoena is really what they needed to issue. They want you to show up. I'd like. What'd be funny is you should respond and set up one of their fake little courts that they have, and then show up with a couple of police officers. I mean, that would really crack me up. My lucky day. In Florida, are municipal traffic courts judicial or administrative? And I'm sorry, I can't answer that because I'm not a Florida attorney. I will tell you that traffic courts are generally going to be judicial. They're not going to be administrative. All I can tell you is in Pennsylvania, they're judicial courts. They're courts of general jurisdiction, and the traffic code is nominally also a criminal code. So the same judges that hear criminal court also hear traffic court by and large. Now there are separate places for parking tickets in the city of Pittsburgh, but generally, the traffic courts are going to be judicial. They're not going to be administrative. Administrative is going to be like an unemployment hearing, a discrimination type case. They have their own administrative courts. Hey, Lillian Sparkman, thank you for subscribing. Very much appreciated. Awesome. Trying to get to 10,000 subscriptions. If I get to 10,000, YouTube's going to give me access to some special screens that I can use so that my videos will be smoother. I also get a merchandise shelf, so that should be fun. A Sovsit Moore question: don't you have to change your name with the state and/or government and not just declare a change? Yeah, absolutely. And that's what these guys. They go out there and they add Bay to their last name. It's like, well, but they don't do it legally, and then they say their name. I mean, they could be hit for false ID when they get pulled over. Human Rights Commission Tribunal. Administrative. Yeah, Hog Tie. I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing, but the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is a federal administrative body that has administrative courts. Also, most states, your unemployment claims, if there's a dispute as to eligibility for unemployment, will go to administrative courts that were just set up for purpose. What is the weirdest thing a Sov ever said that you have heard? I had one. I mean, the gold fringe flag really cracks me up. The references to maritime law and admiralty law put a smile on my face. The craziest story to me was I did this. Maybe I can post this video. Many of you have likely already seen it because it was a pretty popular one that I posted, and it was the Air Marshal. Okay, this Air Marshal. I mean, you got to be freaking kidding me, right? You got to be kidding me. So, I did a video. In our latest news of I did a video, and I'm going to drop the link in here for those of you who haven't seen it. Okay, this one was just too freaking good. All right, this guy is an air marshal, and I think he lived down in Maryland. This guy is an air marshal, and he's out there on his jet ski on a lake, and can't remember what he was doing, but the boat police pulled him over and gave him a ticket for doing something wrong on his jet ski. Mind you, he's a federal employee as an air marshal. So air marshals sit on planes undercover and provide security on, in the cabin of a plane. This position was created after 9/11 to fight terrorist attacks, etc. So this guy's an air marshal, collects a paycheck from the federal government, gets a ticket on his on his jet ski, goes into court and claims he's a sovereign citizen. I mean, it just doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better than that. And somebody commented and said they were surprised he didn't claim the right to travel on the lake where he was jet skiing, and I was just freaking dying. I mean, I was dying. I don't know if you guys, a lot of you probably sub to Van Bayon, but he just did a right to travel video, and I just did my analysis of it. It's going to be posted on my channel soon. A right to travel video where this guy is drunk and pulled over for a DUI, and he literally rails off every single sov-sit argument in the book. It's hilarious. What I meant was we were dealing with the sovereign citizen outside, and he took his journal with him to the hospital, but it was missing. Oh, you guys. You testify tomorrow. Good luck, Adam. Good. Watch out for that sovereign judge. Kevin Persinger, was your Canadian court comment in response to my mention of commission tribunal? Yeah, I'm Canadian. Do you follow the Yaniv case? Nuts. Canadian Human Rights Commission. I've heard about that. How do you think the Pens will do this season? Well, Kay Jackson, they're doing well, but they just had a 3-game losing streak. But they traded for a couple of guys, Jeff Zurich and Patrick Marleau, to hopefully shore them up. And I think they're going to do pretty well. Now, there are some really good teams in their conference. Toronto's good this year, go Canada. Okay. But really Boston and Tampa Bay and Washington. So there's a lot of competition. My point, a BS court. The right to travel is a part of the liberty of which the citizen cannot be derived without due process of law under the Fifth Amendment. That's what they say, a big red hog tie. Yep. Go Buccos. Barbecue Bob. I've given up on the Buccos, sir. I've given up on them to a large degree. Okay, everybody. We're here to have fun. We're here to talk law. We're here to chat about sovereign citizens and all the auditors that we can. But we also come for the friendship and to see our friends, to chat and have a good time. Another reason we come is for the same time sip. I have here today some Coke Zero, which is a little different, but they're basically interchangeable. So those of you who have a beverage close by, get ready for the same time sip. Whatever it is that you're drinking today, let me know in the comments. If anybody's drinking alcohol, I would like to hear that. If somebody's having a Coke with me, please let me know. But in the meantime, raise your drink in the air. Everyone, let's say a cheers together, a kampai, a salute, what do they say in Russian? What do they say in Russian? I never remember that. It's too many syllables. So we'll stick with the cheers, kumbaya, same time sip, tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. Centani. See. Thank you, Ashley. Cherry Coke. Sounds good. Let's see up here. One of my favorite Chinese restaurants in my university's days discriminated against a black customer, telling him he had to pay in advance. Gross. The restaurant admitted it. Human Rights Court gave him $1,000. Yeah, that is gross. Good for them. Good for them. Nostrovia. That's it. Nostrovia. Like we are in Russia. We are in Russia. There's this dude. Who here is a Joe Rogan fan? He gets this one comedian on. What the hell is his name? What the hell is his name? He does this joke about Russia. It's so freaking hilarious. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. My computer's a little slow. Oh, there's a Democratic debate tonight. Well, don't watch that. Watch me. We already know what's going to be said in that thing. I'm much more entertaining. Let me see here. Russia joke. The machine. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay. Bert Kreischer. Who here likes Bert Kreischer? If you're not familiar with Bert Kreischer, I think he's freaking hilarious. Okay, here we go. Boom. The Bert Kreischer does this joke, the machine. I mean, every time I watch it, thank you, Adam. Every time I watch his joke, the machine, I laugh every single time. Fuck yeah, exactly, Ashley. You nailed it. I mean, I don't know why, but that joke. And here's what I'll tell you about Bert Kreischer is somebody like he either cracks me up or like doesn't make me laugh at all. Does anybody else have that experience with him? I'm sure that you also share that. Like some comedians you watch, but Bert Kreischer, like there's no middle for me. Some of his stuff just falls really stale, and then some of it I laugh my freaking face off. And that one with the machine in Russia, I laugh every single time. He's your favorite? Yeah, he's so good. Like I'm a big fan of the you guys watch Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan's podcast. Okay, I don't watch all of them. I do like MMA, but he puts all these MMA podcasts. Whatever. I like Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't think his jokes are that funny. I watched his stand up on Netflix, and I wasn't laughing that hard. I really wasn't. So the N-word joke he does, I'll have to look that up. Bert Kreischer cracks me up. Who I really love, Louis C.K. Everything that comes out of his mouth made me laugh. Everything Louis C.K. says makes me laugh. People have different senses of humor. It's funny because our buttons can be different people. Their buttons are pushed in different ways. And so some comedians, I'm just like, Dane Cook never did it for me. I never thought Dane Cook was funny, not for a second. Okay. But Bert Kreischer is hit or miss. Joe Rogan, I don't think he's funny. Louis C.K. makes me laugh every single time. He got me too, so we're not allowed to watch him anymore. Did you see the sob sit video where a couple was pulled over by an ATM, told not to drive, and claimed their kid needed to go to the toilet? Yeah, blimey, Maynard. I did a video on that one. I did commentary on that video. I saw that one. That was just crazy, man. I mean, that was unbelievable. And that cop was kind of nice. I mean, they were let go with a ticket, told not to drive, and then they specifically drove. Bill Burr is very funny. Bill Burr is funny in the way that I enjoy listening to him. He's funnier than Joe Rogan. Okay, I'm going to go that far with Bill Burr. I don't laugh at all his stuff. And he's funny in a way that, like, everything I think is funny, but it doesn't necessarily make me laugh out loud. Like, there's so many different types of comedy. You mean travel? Yes, Warren. I mean traveled. They traveled. They didn't drive away. They traveled away. Absolutely. Joe Rogan was great on news radio. That show was so awesome. Yeah, I was into, I knew Joe Rogan from Fear Factor, and then I became an MMA fan, and I was like, wow, this guy's relevant again. And then his podcast like just awesome. I don't like. Here's the thing. Now Rogan is getting like bigger and bigger guests. Okay, like he had Iron Man on. Okay, he had Robert Downey Jr. on. He had Bernie Sanders on. Okay, all right, cool. But like I loved when he had like these like crazy people on, man. Like he used to have crazy people on, and that stuff was just great. And like I watch these new ones, I'm like, I can see Robert Downey Jr. interviewed by Larry King. Like I don't care. Like that one bored me. It's like when he was getting like the weirdo, like the people who are into like weird areas of science and stuff, like that's the stuff I love. I like his boy Eddie Bravo too. Eddie Bravo is nuts. I love him. Do you see the sovereign citizen video where a cop has this couple pulled over? Bob Lazar, yeah, Kevin, that was a good one. That was a good one. Did you see the sovereign citizen video where the cop has this couple pulled over? The guy gets pulled out, and the guy says, "Somebody call the police." You know what we haven't seen yet, Adam, is like some of these well, I don't know. We got DeWitt. We got this DeWitt guy who's a fake cop. I'm surprised they don't have their old fake cop thing. By the way, have you guys check out the YouTube channel Rise of the Moors? I just did a video on them. They're probably going to come after me. I'd be happy to debate one of them. They're talking about like raising an army and stuff. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, how far are you going to take this stuff, man? People are ending up in jail. It's crazy. Those people drove after being told not to and then wanted favors from the cop. He didn't have to give the guy's wife his money. Yeah, that cop was pretty nice. I mean, yeah, those people, wow. Sovereign citizens are low-life idiots, look for reasons to sue. Yeah, and they've screwed over a lot of people, and they've sold a bad bill of goods to a lot of people. But let me tell you, a lot of them end up in jail. Fringe people. That's a good way to put it, Gary. I mean, you reduced it to the debate. They're fringe people. Hello, Joe. Hello, everyone. I'm from Portugal, Europe, and here we don't have that race of sovereign citizens. So I break laughing with the adventures of these fools in your videos. Augusto, thank you for joining us from the great country of Portugal. I hear it's beautiful there. The food is great, and I would love to visit. I've been to Italy a couple of times, but never Portugal. I would love to see it. I hear it's a beautiful country, so thank you. If we find videos on soft sits, where can we send them for your review? Send them to me. So I set up a Facebook page. I haven't been posting on it regularly enough. Guys, I'm going to drop the link, though. Hang on a second here. Sending them on my Facebook page is probably best. Just look up Common Sense Academy. The link is in my videos. The link's in, I'll drop the link. Hang on. So Judge Hurley for president, and that Kentucky judge for vice president. You can send me links for videos to my email, newsletter@palmettolaw.com. But I prefer the Facebook page. Go like the Facebook page. If you send me messages, I see those more immediately. I have like, for my law practice, I have like all these emails. Okay, so I'm checking emails all the time. And sometimes I don't get to my email for my YouTube channel. But if you send me a message on the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, send me messages. I see those instantly, and I'll communicate you via message. So really the Facebook page, and I read most comments. So some people drop suggestions and comments. But the Facebook page is the best way, honestly. I'll see it the most. I'll save it. I'll remember it. So like my Facebook page and then drop them on there. Even though I don't post on there a lot, it's a great way to communicate with me. You can't debate them, Joe. Attorney tried. All I ended up getting was aggravation. Yeah, I know, Barbecue Bob. I was like, I figure I kind of want to do it once, and I think you guys will find it entertaining. And it's not going to be about winning. It's going to be mostly about having fun. What are all these audits that they do? I'll get to that. David Hall versus Judge Hurley in Broward County is an older SOV, but it's so funny. Yeah, I did a video on that. That's one of the best of all time. He just outsmarted that guy. That guy was a pretty good SOV. You know what I mean? Like he knew, he was like boom, 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 boom. What's the difference between traveling and driving? These sovereign citizens are confusing when they say that. Well, their argument is number one, they cite a really old Supreme Court case that had to do with a horse and buggy in an era before automobiles. Okay, and basically, I think the states were trying to regulate horse and buggies, and the Supreme Court said you can't regulate in this particular area, and they mentioned something called the right to travel. Okay, well, fast forward to modern times, no such precedent has been passed down. Okay. It's widely accepted constitutional law that the state, the federal government, the local governments can regulate roadways driven on by cars. All right. So what they try to do is cite that old case that mentions this right to travel that had to do with very narrow circumstances and try to say because of that old right to travel decision that they don't need a driver's license to drive on the roads. Then there's another argument concerning the UCC where they say you only have to have a license if you're driving a vehicle on the roads and your vehicle is used for commerce. If your vehicle's not used for commerce, then you don't need a license. That's their claim. It's total BS. If I buy a fake soft SIG crime plate for personal use, am I an accessory to their crimes, fraud, etc.? No, but you'll get pulled over for driving a vehicle without proper registration or signage. Degeneration Nation is excellent. Van Bayon, Degeneration Nation, shout outs to those guys. They put up great SovSit stuff. Degeneration Nation cuts up his videos, makes them very funny, adds other stuff in there. There's no difference, Adam. They claim driving is something you do for commercial based on a law dictionary that is outdated. Absolutely. You nailed it, Gary. They're just totally wrong, man. It's just fake law, pseudo law. What's the difference between sovereign citizens and First Amendment auditors? They seem to be different outside of vehicles until they're in vehicles. Well, when they're in vehicles, they both claim similar nonsense about a right to travel. They both confront police officers with similar nonsense language, such as, give me your supervisor, give me your name and badge number, et cetera, but there's a huge difference. First Amendment auditors are just goofballs out there videotaping the police and other government officials because the First Amendment says that they can. But what happens is they put this on YouTube and they pump up their channels. What happens is they sometimes interfere with police conduct. Okay, in that case, they may be breaking the law. Sovereign citizens are a whole different breed. Okay, they claim for a whole bunch of wacko theories that if you want to get a little more detailed, sign up for my email list, which is in the description of all my videos. I do a 3-page article on an explanation of it. But sovereign citizens essentially say the laws of the country don't apply to them. And there's a couple theories as to why that's the case, but it's really nuts. Put up, I am representative of the person here to settle this matter today. Exactly, Desert Sentinel. In clips where auditors get pulled over, they try the travel versus driving thing. Yeah, I've seen it. They both interlap with their language, and sometimes it gets confusing, but it's all nonsense. The PA code, Ed Sinor, about the right to travel. Taze, I like that. I like that. They rearrange the molecules of the glass. Absolutely. The definition of driver in Black's Law: someone who steers and propels a vehicle. All allusions to it being a commercial term were removed as far back as 1951. Have you ever heard a soft citizen make this argument on the side of the road before? What does "as a matter of right" mean to a judge in PA? No, I haven't, but in a recent video, a soft sit got into what's legal and lawful. Legal and lawful. Okay, there may be a difference in that, but let me tell you, what he was talking about had nothing to do with what that actual difference is. Nothing. Boom, 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 boom. Where's First Amendment Bob? I haven't seen him in a while. No Joe Donho tonight either. I got to start doing some weekend live streams, get everybody on board. I know not everybody wants to jump in late, on a Tuesday. Rearrange the molecules in their head. Yeah, they need something. They need something rearranged. I mean, whatever the hell is going on there. But I'm telling you, this rise of the Moorish channel, there's a guy trying to build up a Moorish nation in a Moorish army. And it's like, bro, you better be careful going around about talking about starting an army in the United States. Now, he talks about wanting to start a university. That's fine. You want to start a fake university, go ahead. All right. I was liking the format with you in the corner commenting. Thank you, Rajon. A lot of people hate on that. I honestly don't know what formats to use half the time, so I just mix it up because I get mixed reviews. I get mixed reviews on everything, and it's hard for me to know what the majority of my audience likes. So I was doing the split screen, but I think it's a little better. And I don't know if you guys notice, when I do the larger split screen, it can change the formatting of the YouTube video. And I actually had some issues on some of my videos recently. So you're going to see more of me beep down here in the corner with the rest of it up here. Isn't Desert Sentinel perpetrating a fraud claiming he is dead? Well, as long as he doesn't file any fake documentation in regards to that, I think he'll be okay. But don't file anything, Desert Sentinel. Don't do it. Do the Moors not understand that Moroccan citizens also need driver's licenses? Listen, well, you know what? I'd like to get my hands on an expired Moroccan driver's license. Okay, and I'll put that right up here so they can see that when they watch my videos. Have you seen the one where Judge Early and the sovereign citizen named David Hall says, "I'm not the person"? Yeah, Adam, that's been mentioned a couple of times. Corner is better than the split screen. In a corner is better than the split screen in a corner for me. Thank you, Rajon. I'll keep that. That's what most YouTubers do that do commentary. Most of them don't do the split screen. I just like the split screen, but I think most popular YouTubers, they do the corner because that's what the majority of the people prefer. So that's where I'm going to go. Yeah, Adam, David Hall and Judge Hurley is a classic sovereign citizen video. Judge Hurley puts the man, the person, the agent, the settler, and the corporation all in jail at the same time. My opinion on civil asset forfeiture. Gregory Scott. Now, I don't know enough about it, but I think it's BS because it's basically the government just seizing personal property in order to pay ridiculously large fines and costs related to traffic violations. I think it's BS. The difference between First Amendment is one will misquote law and case law, fall back on common law, follow the constitutional ideology, and the other is a sovereign citizen. Desert Sentinel, that's the joke of the day so far. I'm with you. I'm a Canadian. If I drive in the USA, if I drive in the States, I submit to the state law. Absolutely, Rajan, and that's true. Unless you have some sort of special status on a federal level, like diplomatic immunity, that's going to be true everywhere you go. See, I get a lot of so there's like some Saudi Arabian exchange program with a local university in Pittsburgh, and these Saudi Arabian students have like these international driver's licenses. Okay, I'd never even seen or heard of them before. So they come over here and they think they can drive on these licenses. Well, apparently Pennsylvania or the United States as a whole doesn't recognize them. This may be something that's recognized in Europe or maybe Middle Eastern countries, I don't know. But they get cited for driving without a license, and they all hire me to help them fix the mess, which I'm happy to do. I'm dead. Long story. I get it, Desert Sentinel. You're just the representative, the agent, and the settler for Desert Sentinel. You're not the person, Desert Sentinel. The person is dead. Now the Moors are trying to claim they are members of Native American tribes, but even Native Americans are subject to U.S. laws when they're not on the reservation. Yeah, I mean, everybody saw the video of the guy in the Native American battle headdress walking around the courtroom and getting arrested in about 5 minutes flat. The funny thing was when he was doing that, there were other people in the courtroom like sitting back there just watching him. Okay, and they were like getting ready for the show. I've always wanted a cop to ask a Moor to sing the Moroccan national anthem. If they don't know it, they aren't very good Moors. I agree, Taze. I wonder if they have their own national anthem for the Moorish temple here in the United States. And when they're on the reservation, they're subject to tribal laws enforced by tribal police. Yeah, I don't know that much about reservation law, but that sounds about right. I would imagine federal law still applies on the reservation unless they've been granted special exemptions. Now, state law likely doesn't apply, but I would imagine federal law does. But I don't know. Maybe they just all have their own laws. How long can a person be held for contempt, and how long could the person in the settler David Hall be held without bail on those felonies? Well, my understanding is that Judge Hurley just gave him a cash bail that he wasn't able to pay. A judge can deny bail for generally however long he wants to, and then the individual would be held until their court date, and you have to be brought to trial within 1 year. So a person can be held in jail very reasonably, even on misdemeanors, for up to 1 year, if not longer, especially if the defense is the person who postpones the case. As far as contempt, well, you have a right to a contempt hearing to see if you actually, so first you're accused, contempt is a crime like anything else. So you're accused of it, you're arraigned, your bond is set, so you can be bonded out until your contempt hearing. But you could be held for any number of days or weeks or months. Joe F.Y. I have recommended it to several Leos, and they have a better understanding of the sovereigns out there and are better able to deal with them. Thank you for your efforts producing this channel. Well, good, Joe. Thank you. I'm glad that they watch. What I actually want to do, I mean, here's the thing. From making this channel, you can see I can answer a lot of these questions. And, Barbecue Bob, a lot of you guys have a lot of knowledge out there, maybe more than me. But we all watch a lot of sovereign videos. I want to write an ebook on it. I talked about this before, but I'd like to write an ebook, and I would charge a couple of dollars for it. But I'd just like to get more of the knowledge out there, dispelling a lot of this stuff, et cetera, cover a little bit of the sovereign citizens in all ways, shapes, and forms. Because I was surprised that nobody's really written any lengthy publications on sovereign citizens. Like some attorney did a law review article and he wrote about a 10-page explanation on sovereign citizen movement. Otherwise, you just get, stuff that's produced by law enforcement, but no like hardcore examination. So I'm going to do that. It's just so hard for me to find time. I have a law practice and it keeps me really busy. Joe, the corporate, what is it? What is with the corporate United States? I'm just the agent furball in the squirrel. Is it true states are defined as a federal corporation by the government? No, that's not true at all. That's sovereign citizen nonsense. I saw an episode of Parking Wars. A guy from Israel got his car towed in Philly because he had an international driver's license. There you go. Israel, it might be a Middle Eastern thing. Like the Middle Eastern countries may have some sort of compact, because I haven't heard of it from Europeans or in Europe. But again, these guys from Saudi Arabia come over and they have this license and they think it's good. America is a corporation. That's one I got to dig a little deeper into, but essentially the sovereigns, for various reasons that have to do with the UCC, and it's all BS, believe that the United States is a large corporation. It's not the true United States. The federal government we have set up is not the true federal government. They believe that the true federal government was usurped at some point prior in history. Some of them say when the 14th Amendment was passed after the Civil War. Some would say earlier than that, when the Articles of Confederation and then the United States Constitution come into effect. And some would push it up to, when the UCC was passed, et cetera, et cetera. So they think that the current federal government is not the real federal government, that the real federal government that was defined by the Constitution, the common law, was usurped by this entity which now exists, which is a corporation. I saw one. And thanks to give us real information from a real lawyer, not a YouTube university. That's what I'm here to do, Rajan. You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the shout out. I'll offer legit legal advice here as well. Everything that I offer here, just a disclaimer, is not, I just said it's legit legal advice. It's not. It's general legal knowledge, okay? For legit legal advice on your legal issue, you must contact an attorney in your state. And even those of you in Pennsylvania, I'm only giving you legal information, not legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed here. Is it still possible to have one's records sealed in Pennsylvania? Yes, Bob, it's still possible, and it's actually become more possible for more charges in the last couple of years with the Clean Slate Act, which was passed by Governor Wolf. So there's lots of ways to protect your record now that didn't exist in the past. Have you ever debated a sovereign citizen? I have not. One sovereign citizen more did challenge me to a debate. Really, I would have debated him, but like he just made this video like talking all this smack and sent the video to me. Like I just didn't like the way he approached me. It's like, listen, I joke here and I talk smack, okay? And I don't care if these Moors, these sovereigns talk smack on me on their channel. But you want to debate me, come when we start interacting on a personal basis, say, hey, Joe, let's do a debate. Don't come at me the wrong way. So I'd be willing to debate one as long as they come at me, come at me in a fair way. That's all. The explanation for soft sits can be published in a one-page pamphlet. Simply says they're full of crap. You're right, Gary. But people are also curious about the actual theories and lies. And that's all that I would do is I would break them down. It's mostly entertainment. I saw one video on Virgo. Cop asked to see a driver's license. Driver says, I'm traveling. Cop says, show me your traveler's license. That's a good one, Taze. That's a good one. There was a case with Sam Giancana, the mobster. He was found guilty of contempt and was sentenced to the length of the grand jury's tenure, which in that case was 18 months. Yeah, it depends why you are held in contempt. I believe there are statutes that regulate the length of time, but you can be held in contempt for years. Title 20, the corporation BS comes from Title 1. Juan Galt, thank you for joining me. Mr. Galt, I want to have you on. I want to have you on a show. I didn't get back to you. Juan Galt, do me a favor. If you have a Facebook, do you have a Facebook? Send me a Facebook message and we'll set up a show. We will set up a show to do. Debate is fun as long as it stays professional and nothing personal. Yeah, I wouldn't make any personal attacks, but if they attack me, no Facebook. Okay, Juan, well, I'm going to email you back. We're going to set up a time and date. NAC, Native American community, dealt with the same sovereign wars you mentioned. As one on that video was upset about the Native American reference. Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, it kind of gives them a bad name. Like then like the general public may think, well, you know, native tribal law or reservations are fake because all these guys do is talk fake smack. Hi, how's it going? Hi, William. Thank you. Okay, travel your vessel over there and we will tow it from there. I like the one where the cop asked the guy if his car's shifter says drive or travel. That's another good one, Ed. You guys are giving me, or Gary, I'm sorry. You guys are giving me some good ones. What's the jurisdiction being used in criminal courts in PA? I don't understand the question. Courts have jurisdiction over a territory. The laws mentioned are before the Western expansion. Yes, many of them. You're right, Crazy. You're right. If a Sov Sit decides to come back to reality and needed a lawyer, would you give them a discount or price gouge? I would charge them the same fair prices that I charge everybody else. And I'd be happy to help them if they come back to Earth and, you know, they're willing to say that I'm not an agent of the crown. I'd be more than happy to work with them. Some Sov Sit got a win on their cases, but it was legal issue got the win, nothing to do with Sov Sit. Yeah, that's what happens. FD, you want to do another same time sip? We already did one in 15 minutes. Okay. I'm only going to go for about 10 more minutes tonight. The drink of the gods. This is, look up, this is it. Coke Zero tonight. Coke Zero. Let me tell you what I'm really addicted to. They have in Wendy's now. And even at Get-Go is like, you can like flavor, you know, you can flavor all your sodas now in Wendy's, like lime and cherry. I love it. Okay, I want to do a quick shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. That includes Arlette Pippin, Jessamy Brown, Joseph Donahue, Carl Barnes, Pim Van Meurs, Richard Pierce, Remontis Glemza, William Scarborough, Jacqueline Chandler. All of you who support me on Patreon, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. This Same Time Sip is dedicated to you. You help me to free up time to make these videos and do these live streams and have fun with everyone where we learn, and we also get entertained at the same time. So drinking game, every time he takes a drink, take a shot. In that case, I'm going to do a whole bunch of drinks, okay? Because that's going to make it all more fun. But no, this drink goes to all my patrons over on Patreon. It tastes better when we sip together. This here is for FD 2003. Cheers, the Same Time Sip. Delicious, delicious. Thank you very much, everyone. Technicalities can make anyone lucky and win them a case. Amen. That's true. Common law, administrative, statutory. So so you're going to have magistrates that have judicial districts over which they have plenary jurisdiction for territory. So they're going to have general jurisdiction, okay, and that's going to be on the basis of both. They apply both the common law and statutory law. However, their jurisdiction would derive directly from statutes and laws passed by the legislature of the state of Pennsylvania. They're not administrative courts, but they apply both common law and statutory law. Sipping on Arizona green. Have cops boot the cars. Those sovereigns can travel without having to drive. Just popped in to listen while working. Don't have a question. Just want to say shout out from Gettysburg. Thank you, Ashley. Shout out to you too. Thank you for your contributions and dropping by. Drink a Labatt. Labatt is a good beer. Macafe, Region, common law, administrative. So you're talking common law and statutory law in a plenary court of common pleas, Ed. That's but a magistrate or a common pleas judge can apply both the common law and the statutory law. They generally would not have jurisdiction over certain administrative matters. In Florida, we have Sav Moore and the most famous fake cop of all, Jeremy DeWitt. Yes, you do, Beverly. Yes, you do. Florida is a heck of a place. I've really been seeing, like, I feel like there's a nice center of Moors over in Philadelphia. I'm beginning to see that Louisiana appears to be a hotbed for both sovereign citizens and Moors. Florida, but I don't think anywhere in the country is exempt. We once served a search warrant on a SOV. They recorded the search prior to leaving. We seized the tapes. Oh, that's hilarious, Joe. That is pretty funny. Yeah, I bet they didn't appreciate it. Ever seen the movie or read the book Presumed Innocent? No, Tom, but I believe that was a Scott Turow or a Grisham. I know it was written by I believe it was written by a lawyer, but I've actually heard that it's an excellent movie and that there's a cross-examination in it that every attorney should watch. I've watched parts of it. Let me see real quick. Presumed Innocent. Yeah, with Harrison Ford and Raul Julia. Yeah, I've watched clips on YouTube. Sovereign pedophiles, Angry Squirrel. Yes, there have been. I've covered them. I've covered their case in the past, some of my videos. Not much claiming sovereign on the western side of the Mississippi. You know what, crazy? That's true. That seems to be true. What's up with that? The truck company I drive for, we have two regular layer, one for Canada and law, and one that we have to hire a lawyer from the States we have a problem with because U.S. laws are complex. Well, the thing too with the United States laws, especially when you get to like a traffic code and the criminal code, they're very different in every state. They're very unique and ubiquitous. Even the classifications of laws. So like in Ohio, for example, even their minor charges are called misdemeanors and are graded. Well, in PA, a misdemeanor is a middle class crime. The minor laws are all called summary offenses. So yeah, every state is very different, especially when it comes to criminal and traffic law. Criminal and traffic law, each state is very, very unique, idiosyncratic. Most soft sits end up recording proof of their own crimes. That's for sure. The cross that Raul Julia did is why I asked. Tom, are you an attorney? Yeah, that's a classic cross. That's a classic cross in that movie. It's called DeWitt Seminole County Edition 1 and 2. Ashley, yes, he's doing 15 years in AR. Traffic for trucks is crazy. Yeah, Pitts Bob Iger thoughts. Traffic for trucks. Yeah, I get trucker cases and they can get some hefty fines. What's going on? Bob Iger to step down as Disney CEO immediately. How come? Iger plans to focus on Disney's creative strategy. Blah, 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 blah. Shares fell 2.5%. Well, I own some Disney shares. I can tell you that. So I don't like seeing that. I have to go. Keep up the great work. Thanks to your efforts, a lot of Leos are getting a great education about SOVs. You're welcome, Joe. I appreciate it. Like I said, ebook coming soon. Nope, we have a TP Traveler Moors operated in the Antelope Valley and has been arrested by LA County Sheriff last year. A TP Traveler Moor. Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. I think there's pockets, but they're everywhere. Statutes are not laws, says he in his best SOV-sit voice. No, I'm not, but one of my brothers is. Gotcha, Tom. Statues. I saw Sov in a truck say bye-bye to his window and his job in the same 3 seconds. Yeah, I mean, you want to pull that in a truck, man, you are asking for it. Watching from New York, love the show. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Nora. I appreciate it. Love New York. Love New York. Great state. Borders the great state of Pennsylvania. Dun, 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 boom, 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 boom. I see that blowing. It's coming around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Keep moving on. I hold my head and when I was just a baby, my mama told me, son. Thank you, Rajon. Thank you. Thank you. Arkansas, shout out. Thank you from Arkansas as well. Why do SOV-sits even go to the courthouse if they don't believe in its jurisdiction? They don't go there by choice, cause most of the time they don't go there by choice. I was asked if I've ever represented it. I've seen SOV-sits in court. That's actually why I made my first video on sovereign citizens. I was working at the public defender's office and one of them rolled up and I got to watch him spew his nonsense. I mean, this was like 8 years ago. I didn't even know what was going on. And I got a big kick out of it. The guy screwed himself. I tased the man in Reno just to hear him scream. And now he's in a jail, eating vanilla ice cream. Well, I tased the guy in Reno. Karaoke lawyer. Yeah, Kevin. Just to watch him scream. I do like karaoke. I think I told you guys before, but I lived in Japan for 2.5 years. And listen, you cannot live in Japan and not do karaoke. Okay. Did you ever see the Bears Law and Forensic Science team with Ronnie Lee Davis? Oh man, no, but I'll be looking them up. Okay, everybody. Calling it kind of a little bit short tonight. I'm tired. It's a Tuesday. I want to start running some weekend shows so we can go even longer. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah, Taza Kadena, absolutely. Set my headset on. Everybody, I'm going to say good night. It's a Tuesday. Tired. I had a long day at court this morning. Thank you for tuning in. I got new videos being released tomorrow. One's going to be on the rise of the Moors. One is on the right to travel, and one is on a new court case out of Louisiana. So enjoy the content, and I should be on tomorrow. Chief Tuttle, I will check out those links, man. I'm busy all the time. And Juan Galt, I'm going to get back to you guys. I got a plan for a special guest episode soon. I just didn't get back to him on the email. Again, I can be slow on the email. Good night from the trees. You're welcome. Good night from the hills and rivers of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Steel Town, blue collar America. Okay, everybody, have a good one.